So, Resident Evil Retribution in 3D. When we last saw Alice, she was on a ship being attacked by the Umbrella Corporation. They captured her and she is a prisoner in an underwater test facility where they recreate the biohazard disasters that plague the planet. Now with the help of Ada Wong, they must both escape the test facility and meet up with Luther West, Leon S. Kennedy, and Barry Burton before Umbrella's top henchman, Jill Valentine, her clone army, and the monsters kill them. After sitting through the absolutely awful Resident Evil Afterlife, I had low expectations for Paul W.S. Anderson's next Resident Evil installment. And after sitting through this movie, all I have to say is, meh, could have been worse. The story is pretty basic with that whole get the hell out of there before everybody kills you scenario. I mean, basically, it's the same plot as Resident Evil 1, only with more action and more jump scares. And for a movie that is just 2 hours long, it felt surprisingly short. Now, one thing that I wasn't definitely looking forward to was the slow-mo fight scenes, which were atrocious in the previous Resident Evil film. But the fight scenes here, well, let's just say slow and steady wins the race. What that means is that even though the fight scenes are kind of half slow, it actually packs a punch. Even the car chase scene was absolutely fun to watch. As for the characters, they're just there for fan service. As in, fans love these characters and it's the only reason why they would watch it, fan service. As for the monsters, well, I have to be honest, I am kind of disappointed. And not because they suck or anything. And the zombies don't count. I mean, there are a variety of Resident Evil monsters, and Paul W.S. Anderson doesn't even try playing with the new ones? What the hell? The visuals in this film are actually fantastic. Now, even though the story is pretty much running on fumes, Paul Anderson makes it up for it for his amazing visuals. Like the opening scene where the ship is being attacked and everything is going backwards, I thought that was amazing, especially in 3D, both visual and distant-wise. I also like these global locations within the test facility, like Japan, and in Moscow, and in suburban America, and more. I also like these small areas like the subway and these underground test facilities. It does give a hint of the horrific claustrophobia that the games had. Only a hint though. And the zombie and monster effects look great. My favorite was this big ass licker, even though the thing was kind of there for just 10 whole minutes. I also like the costume designs over here. Like, for example, Alice's clothes looks kind of semi-cybernetic, and that's kind of cool. Even the costumes for the game characters looks very authentic. The acting in this film is nothing special. Mila is still a badass as Alice, but the rest of the cast feel like that they were only there for the money. I know that they care for their characters, but the thing is, they're just underplayed, and they lack purpose, besides being bad guys, and that's about it. As for Sienna Guillory and Michelle Rodriguez, who play Jill and Rain, they look like they were having fun playing the villains and whooping some ass. But what about newcomers like Johan Erb playing Leon S. Kennedy? Well, I will say that he is without a doubt the best Leon cosplayer that I have ever seen, but his acting is just forgettable. Li Bingbing as Ada Wong was okay for me. I can tell that she was sort of struggling with her English, but I give her a thumbs up for trying real hard to play this role. She's actually like the second best character in this movie. As for Ariana Engineer playing as Becky, Alice's deaf daughter, she's only there because it's symbolic to the director Paul Anderson and Mila Jovovich because, you know, they have a daughter together. I mean, I can't actually complain about her, mostly because I don't want to make fun of a deaf character. Would you? I don't think so. Kevin Durant as Barry Burton is by far the worst. Not because of the acting or anything, it's just that he is so ill-treated in this film. And I can definitely say the fanboys are going to rage. The music was done by Toman Dandy, who worked on the previous Resident Evil Afterlife and the reboot of The Hills Have Eyes. When Tom and Dandy took over for Resident Evil Afterlife, his music was absolutely awful! I wanted to rip my ears out of my head because Afterlife had without a doubt the worst composed music that I have ever heard. But lucky for him, he actually did a better job in this movie than he did with Resident Evil Afterlife. So lucky you son of a bitch! Like, one of my favorite music moments in this film is the final fight scene where this beautiful angelic chorus starts singing, and it is by far very fitting towards this movie. It is really that good. In the end, Resident Evil Retribution is pretty brainless, but it's brainless fun, and it can be enjoyed for anyone who just likes a silly zombie flick. And if you do think of watching this, I highly recommend that you watch it in 3D because it's more effective in 3D. And for those of you who end up hating this movie, all I have to say is 1, the next Resident Evil movie will be the last, and 2, Resident Evil 6 is coming out next month, and I'm hoping that that game will definitely be great. I give Resident Evil Retribution a 3 out of 5. See ya!